Hey guys, so in today's video, I am going to be responding to a comment that was left on one of my previous videos. So the video is titled Medical Assistant Q&A, Afraid of Learning Phlebotomy Skills. And this comment was left by Mega Westmoreland. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. But the comment was, if you're not using your phlebotomist certification, should you keep it? So for those of you who don't know, just to give you guys a little bit of background information before I go into my thoughts, I started out as a CNA in 2016. 2019, I became a certified phlebotomy technician. 2021, I became a CCMA, which is a certified clinical medical assistant. And now I work as a sleep tech, non-certified at this point. But anyways, to address your comment of if you're not using your phlebotomy certification, should you keep it? I will say that probably at the time that I made that video, I was not using my phlebotomy skills, but different medical assistant positions require you to use your phlebotomy skills. It just kind of depends on the location that you work for, the clinic that you work at, what type of clinic it is, what setting. I worked mostly at our main clinic, but towards the end of me working as a medical assistant, well, I still am employed as a per diem medical assistant with the community clinics, but I was going 2 to 3 days a week out to one of our satellite clinics where we were required to draw blood. There was no laboratory personnel out there. It was just us that was responsible for drawing the blood so that they could run whatever testing that the provider ordered out there. So I definitely did use my phlebotomy skills, and I actually got into a really good rhythm of, doing pretty well. But I definitely feel like if you want to be the best well-rounded applicant, like if you feel like you might switch to a different position, or, I am always of the belief that you should keep your certifications active because you never know when you might need to use them. So you never know when you might move to a different area. You might move to, let's say you live in Iowa and you move to Texas. Well, you're a medical assistant, you have a phlebotomy certification. Maybe you didn't use that in your previous job, but down in Texas, you are looking for jobs and you find one that requires you to have a phlebotomy certification, but you let it lapse. So then you have to go through training again to get your certification back, if it's been lapsed too long. So I feel like it's just easier once you get the certification, do whatever you can to keep it, because why should you have to put yourself through that struggle again and then have to try to get it back, especially if you lose it. Once I get my sleep tech certification or registry, I am not letting that expire. So I will make another video giving more information about that, because the reason why I said registry is because the certification you can only have for a certain amount of time. But this is phlebotomy related, not sleep tech, so I apologize. But I definitely feel like you should keep your certifications active if you can, because like I said, you never know when you might just want to change. You might have to move, or, I don't know. You could volunteer. You could pick up extra shifts, work per diem in a lab just to keep your skills. Because, obviously if you're not using those skills, it can be a little bit hard to get back into the rhythm of things, which is kind of also why I wanted to stay on as a per diem or call-in medical assistant, because I want to keep those skills, because like I said, you never know when you're going to need it. And, I definitely understand where you're coming from as far as if you're not using it, what is the point in paying to keep these certifications? But like I said, I have talked on my channel numerous times about how I feel like any extra certification you can get will make you more marketable as a job applicant. And you never know when you're going to need another job. You never know if today's going to be the day that your boss comes to you and is like, hey, we're bankrupt and, I'm sorry, but we have to let you go because we're shutting down in a week. Obviously I hope that doesn't happen to anybody, because that would be awful and an awful way to find out that you don't have a job anymore. But it happens, and it could happen any day to anybody. So I just definitely feel like it's best to keep yourself as marketable as possible. At my job, I didn't necessarily have to do ACLS training. I didn't necessarily have to do PALS training, but I signed up for that. I haven't done the PALS training yet, but I am ACLS certified. All that was required was BLS to work in the community clinic setting, but I chose to do ACLS because if I can have that extra knowledge, why would I not want to? And I do think that it makes you better prepared for whatever situation you might walk into, because you never know when somebody's going to have an emergency either. So like I said, I would recommend keeping the certification. I could understand why somebody might not want to. If you get a phlebotomy certification and you work as a phlebotomist or you work as a medical assistant, you're like, well, I just don't have any desire to ever work drawing blood, then I get it. There's no point in paying, whatever the NHA fee is or whatever other certification or certifying body fee is to keep your certification active. It's pointless at that point to keep paying for it. If you know that you're never going to want to use that certification, that's a different story. But if you think that there's ever a possibility that you might need that certification or that you might want to get a job doing that, even if you're doing something completely different from that field, I would keep it. I know people that are working in completely different fields, not in healthcare anymore, that still keep their healthcare certifications active and relevant. They do a couple of call-in shifts or per diem shifts here and there just to keep their skills relevant and, keep them fresh. So that if something happens, like I said, they can still come back to that position if they need to in the future. So I hope that made sense. Let me know if you guys have any questions you would like me to address. If you leave a comment on one of my videos and I don't respond to it in the comment section, please be looking out for a video responding to your comment, because I am sure that it will be there. I do tend to take screenshots of your comments and address them when I get a chance to film videos like this. So yeah, anyways, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you guys next time.